You have likely heard of the climate crisis. You know that greenhouse gases in the atmosphere are causing the Earth to warm and the sea level to rise. You know that the climate is becoming more and more unpredictable, and natural disasters like droughts and floods are occurring more frequently. We've heard this time and time again.
As students, it often feels like we can't do anything to reduce global emissions in the fight against climate change. But in reality, that's not true. One of the best and most impactful steps each and every one of us can take to lower our carbon footprint is actually quite simple. Eat more plants.
In fact, the most conservative estimate states that livestock is responsible for 14% of global greenhouse gas emissions. That's more than all airplanes, cars, trucks, and trains combined. And did you know that the production of a single meat-based hamburger is equivalent to about 2 months of showers? That's a lot of water.
But what about your health? Can a plant-based diet provide enough protein? Yes, because all protein actually originates from plants. The strongest mammals in the world, like rhinos, gorillas, and elephants, are all herbivores. So plants can definitely grow your muscles.
So aside from the environmental benefits, plant-based diets are also very healthy for you, which is why many top-level athletes like Kyrie Irving, Lewis Hamilton, Novak Djokovic, and Serena Williams are all plant-based. Around the world, and even here at MSF, more and more people are choosing to also reduce their meat and dairy intake and opting for a plant-based diet. Hear their thoughts.
I didn't think I was strong enough, so I was just like, let me just try it for a couple of weeks and just see how far I get. And then 4.5 months later, I'm still pescatarian, so yeah.
It was initially an environmental reason, but then more and more research has come out about the health benefits of that. My family has a long history of heart disease, so it was something I did for myself as well.
Firstly, was because I watched a documentary on how it aids in sports.
I personally love animals, and I don't find a reason why I should eat them. Because first of all, it's better for my health, it is better for the environment, and personally, I think it's starting to become a social justice issue.
You know, the one sort of driving factor for me was just looking at my own personal health. There were, markers and indicators in like blood work. For example, my cholesterol was a bit too high. My triglycerides were far out of whack, and the doctors will tell you once you get on something like a high blood pressure medication, it's quite hard to then get off. And so I said to myself, you know what, it's time to make a change. And so that was what kicked off my journey toward a plant-based diet.
Feeling a bit better about myself because I do love animals, so I think I felt more proud of what I eat and how I feel about myself.
Actually, a lot. I have a lot more energy when I am plants. I am plant-based mostly, but and I have more clarity in my thinking as well.
I've been plant-based my whole life, but honestly, I feel pretty healthy. And if you know me, you know it hasn't exactly stunted my growth.
Endurance, being able to engage in like anaerobic exercise. I have far more energy.
I think in the beginning it was definitely an adjustment because like my parents still eat meat, so I think just changing what we eat in the dinner or like breakfast.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Still are. My husband is not fully plant-based, and my family at home has very limited understanding as to why I don't eat meat.
So I think it took some getting used to in the first week, but then after that, the only thing that was, I would say, difficult was finding alternatives that I enjoyed as much as the real one.
It's not just like if and when it's convenient. So it's not always convenient, especially when you're out and you go to restaurants to really be mindful.
Absolutely. It is easier to absorb protein from meat, but there are other options.
Actually, yes, I would recommend the plant-based diet to everyone because it is the best thing to do if you care about your health, animals, people, and the environment in general.
You look at any of the research out there on the impact of like a heavy meat-based diet versus a plant-based diet, there's just far less of a strain on the environment, so I do appreciate that. So for me, it was a good choice, and I do think it is an individual choice for everyone out there to make. but I would recommend it.
Our generation is our planet's future, so let's be aware of the consequences of all of our choices.